Okay, and I think we're approaching the end of the crafting videos. So what I want to talk about here is the default material cost method. What you typically have, this is something I found on the internet. You can use some sort of variation. I forget what the default is for TSM. They may have something similar or something a little bit different. Definitely, it's going to be different from mine. So what I'm doing on mine is I'm taking like the minimum of these two um, averages of not the average, the minimum either DB market or DB market average, and then I'm averaging that in with the sale average. So the part of the reason I do that is just to maybe kind of come up with a more reasonable value, because I tend to buy stuff at a cheaper value than maybe other people, than I would just typically go out and buy it. uh, then I take the minimum of that that average, along with crafting and vendor buy. So I'm always going to take the minimum. I'm going to take vendor buy as a minimum here, and then uh, convert DB market. That's it. Deals with converting something from, I think it's prospecting, milling. It and it may have other values in there, that other properties in there as well. The second thing is, if you buy something off the auction house, then your smart average buy or an average buy, you want to calculate those in as well. So you don't want to craft an item where you've bought a lot of stuff off the auction house for more than what the crafted value is. So that takes those into account, and you take the maximum of those to determine what the price is. So I bought a bunch of linen cloth for 5 silver each, but now the material cost on it is 20 silver. But let's say I've bought thousands and thousands of this, or I've bought way more than I ever plan to use in the next 2 or 3 months. So one thing you can do is come here and let's go to linen cloth, and maybe instead of what I want to do is, instead of the max here, I'm going to use the minimum amount. And so that's going to either use minimum vendor buy, this formula in here, or it's going to use the minimum of my smart average buy and average buy. And so if since I've already set that, so now linen cloth is coming up at 5 silver. So we can maybe take I don't know if that would have changed the crafting cost of some of these items here. Let's go back and do that again. So linen cloth, we'll take the max, save. Let's come back here. Crafting cost is 41 silver. Profit is saying 2 gold and 55 silver. So if we go back to the reports, 2 gold, 55 silver. We're going to change that to min. Let's see if that changes the value. So it is saying now 2 gold and 87 silver. So maybe if I know I'm buying stuff, or I have a supplier that gets me linen cloth at a much cheaper rate than what I would normally pay on the auction house, then it might be better to set that particular one, that particular material, to a value that's probably going to be a little bit more in line with what your crafting costs are, as opposed to what you would currently go out and pay if you had to buy it on the auction house. So, and that's what these two values are in here. It's like what I'm probably going to pay on the auction house, versus what I have already paid, and that is a big problem with a lot of people is coming up with some sort of compromise or some sort of solution to where it's like, what have I do I base my material costs on what I have paid or what I'm going to be paying if I have to buy it off the auction house? And so you get two groups of people that are maybe arguing back and forth on how to value uh, this stuff as. And to me, my solution is to maybe come up with the default is to what it would take to buy it off the auction house, plus what I've maybe paid for it in the past or currently paid for it. But also, um, in special situations, maybe I want to use what I have paid for it. So not maybe what it's currently worth. So anyway, now the second portion of this is the default craft value method. Typically, I believe what this might have in it is like a DB market, and maybe it has a minimum DB min buyout. So typically what you don't want to make something that the DB min buyout is is below your crafting cost. And I've mentioned that probably more times than I can think of. Um, here you can go buy linen cloth and then craft it, and it should be profitable. Now, whether it's going to sell or not, that's another story. One of the reasons why you want to do maybe an average of these various values here is if something's not really been posted on your auction house for a long time, and I can't really show it here. It might have I've done another video on that where some of these profit fields are blank, and that's because DB market isn't defined for those items, and that's why you want to do that. And then, like I was saying, you want to use DB min buyout as a minimum, because if somebody's posted a bunch of stuff for below value, that will pop up. So if I was to, well, use something like a DB region on this might actually pop up as profitable, whereas there's currently auctions out there that are below the crafting cost. So I hope this helps, and again, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Take care.